Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic, and this video is going to help you prepare to see the upcoming Avengers film Infinity War. There are 18 movies we need to recap here spanning 10 years. This is going to be a bare essentials run through, so don't expect every movie to get major attention if it won't relate to Infinity War at all. We also don't know what twists and turns to expect, but I'll cover everything that I think may come into play at some point, including things that might be alluded to in the post-credits. I'm also not going to cover these films chronologically, but rather in a way that makes sense and focuses on characters over the unique plots of each film. So let's begin. In this fictional version of Earth, superheroes exist, magic exists, aliens exist. Back in World War II, an agency called S.H.I.E.L.D. was created to study and protect Earth from some of these extraordinary threats. One of its creators, Peggy Carter, had a profound interest in this, as the love of her life, Steve Rogers, was one of these superheroes. Steve was a small kid who wanted to serve during World War II, but he wasn't fit enough. He had the heart though, and found himself the lucky recipient of a super soldier serum, turning him into the hero known as Captain America. He fought alongside Peggy for a time, as well as his best friend Bucky Barnes. Bucky was thrown from a train during a heated fight and was presumed dead. Steve also was presumed dead after he sacrificed himself by flying a dangerous plane into the ice to save lives. This ice saved his life, however, and he was brought back to life in modern day. The love of his life, Peggy, was now an old woman. His friend Bucky was found by some evil Russian scientists that turned him into a weapon known simply as the Winter Soldier, because he would be frozen for long spans of time until he was awakened for assassination missions. Bucky wasn't under his own control, as a set of keywords would allow others to use and manipulate him. We'll come back to Bucky later. So while Steve was frozen, a lot happened. S.H.I.E.L.D. became a major player, with Peggy leading the charge. Assisting her was also a brilliant scientist and inventor named Howard Stark. Stark had a son who would grow up to become a genius as well, though he had no idea that his father was involved in any of this. His son, Tony Stark, eventually took over the massive company and spearheaded their business of building and selling weapons. Tony eventually was captured and held hostage in Afghanistan, where he secretly built a suit of armor and was able to escape. This armor is powered by what's called an arc reactor, a small power source built into his chest. He evolved the suit and realized he didn't want to build weapons anymore, but wanted to make a difference coming out to the world while doing so.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
This caught the attention of S.H.I.E.L.D., who sent agents to talk and meet with Tony, and their director Nick Fury eventually went to speak with him himself.
Who the hell are you?
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
The Avengers Initiative was a brainchild of Nick Fury, who believed a small task force of superheroes could help protect the planet when S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't enough. But Iron Man and the recently awakened Captain America weren't going to do it. There were rumors of a scientist who was a victim of gamma radiation named Bruce Banner. Banner was now just one side of the coin, as anger caused him to transform into the immensely powerful and seemingly indestructible creature known as the Hulk. Banner and the Hulk are two unique personalities, and Banner has little control over what the Hulk does, causing him to destroy cities and potentially hurt people. This caused Banner to stay away from people until he was eventually found and drafted by S.H.I.E.L.D. They sent one of their most cunning agents to find and bring him in. Her name is Natasha, but she goes by the codename Black Widow. While there's nothing especially superpowered about her, she was raised and trained by an evil Russian organization that prepared women to become assassins, before she eventually left them to join S.H.I.E.L.D. She has a connection with Banner and the Hulk, and is able to talk him down from his rage, and help him revert back to his Banner state. It's getting harder for him to turn back into Bruce Banner, and there's an incident in South Africa where he destroys a lot of buildings. Only able to be somewhat calmed by a suit made by Tony Stark known as the Hulk Buster armor, designed with the sole purpose of at least slowing the Hulk down. Now this team is coming together nicely, but we have one more major addition. S.H.I.E.L.D. has discovered that an alien has arrived on Earth by the name of Thor. Thor is a member of a very old race called the Asgardians, who come from a distant planet called Asgard. He is incredibly powerful and wielded a hammer that helped him to focus his powers of lightning. He was arrogant though, so his father Odin banished him to Earth to learn humility. It was here that he first crossed paths with S.H.I.E.L.D. without his powers and looking like he was insane. Eventually he did indeed learn humility and regained his powers just in time to save Asgard from his own brother Loki, a sorcerer and trickster who sought the throne of Asgard. Loki was not Thor's actual brother, but was adopted, so he had very little loyalty to Asgard itself. In fact, in an effort to gain power and favor, Loki aligned himself with a villain named Thanos, a warlord from another world. Loki promised Thanos Earth, and Loki used an ancient weapon called the Tesseract to open the skies and allow alien invaders to swarm New York City. This is a perfect chance for Nick Fury to pull the trigger on the Avengers initiative, bring them all together for the first time. Loki had a major win at the outset, however, as he used another weapon, a staff of mind control, to sway one of their most gifted agents to the side of evil. Here we meet Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye. Hawkeye is a skilled archer, known for arrows of varying effects. Under the control of Loki, Hawkeye devastates the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier and triggers a rage onset by the Hulk. Eventually, Hawkeye is cured, and the Avengers manage to defeat this alien threat and capture Loki. Thor takes Loki and the magical Tesseract back to Asgard for safety. The mind control staff remains on Earth. Now that there is peace on Earth again, Captain America doesn't know what to do with himself. Luckily for him, things at S.H.I.E.L.D. start to unravel, revealing that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been infiltrated by its counter-organization known as Hydra. There's very few people that Captain America can trust, which only really includes Black Widow and Nick Fury. Hydra also taps into a weapon that makes this personal for Steve Rogers as they bring in the Winter Soldier. Rogers recognizes Bucky, but Bucky is still under mind control and causes massive damage. Rogers needs help and recruits a new member to the team, a pilot named Sam Wilson, who is gifted in using a flight suit and a variety of guns, who goes by the codename Falcon. They also get help from a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent named Sharon Carter, who is Peggy Carter's niece, and who has a bit of a crush on Captain America, and the feeling is mutual. S.H.I.E.L.D. is essentially destroyed in this mess, and their whole infrastructure collapses. Nick Fury goes into hiding while Black Widow stays with Captain America. The Winter Soldier escapes and now lives on the run and in hiding. Now, what has Thor been up to? He has been battling an ancient evil that has attacked Asgard using a weapon called the Aether, a red powerful artifact that almost defeats Thor, but not quite. Now, I've seen a few magical artifacts now, and it's getting to the point where it seems more than just coincidence. These weapons, the Aether, the Tesseract, and Loki's mind control scepter, are all weapons called Infinity Stones. Each one wields an immense power over something specific. The Tesseract allowed Loki to open up the skies and has the power over space, able to teleport and travel easily, for example. Odin on Asgard knows what these are and that they shouldn't be kept in one place. They are currently holding the Tesseract, so they send the Aether to a mysterious being called the Collector, who values unique and one-of-a-kind artifacts. Tony Stark is having a hard time with the aftermath of the New York alien attack, relying on his best friend James Rhodes to help him cope. Stark has given Rhodes a suit as well, with the nickname War Machine. He starts to build more and more suits that are now AI controlled to help patrol and put less human lives in jeopardy. We haven't discussed Pepper Potts, Tony's girlfriend and the woman who runs his company. He eventually proposes to her with the help of his bodyguard Happy. There is a problem with these AI-controlled suits, and that's the AI that runs them. It evolves, and it becomes sentient and calls itself Ultron, who now seeks to cause massive harm to the human race. The Avengers unite again and head to the country of Sokovia, where Ultron is headed. We get introduced to a few new key players here. Remember Loki's mind control staff? Well, it's ended up in the hands of Hydra, and it's been used to experiment on a few new characters to give them abilities. Don't ask how, I have no idea. These two characters are Sokovian rebels, who initially side with Ultron before aligning with the Avengers. There is a woman named Wanda who is given the ability to use magic in the form of telekinesis and powerful blasts of energy. It's alluded to that she can do much more, but she's untrained. Her brother Pietro is given the ability to run at super speed, but he gives his life to save Hawkeye from a slew of bullets. Wanda sides with the Avengers, specifically with Captain America. After the Avengers rescue these two, they take the staff and try to find a way to use it against Ultron, and they find a way to create their own AI soldier using the Mind Stone to give it life. This being is called Vision, and he's able to fly, change density, and shoot powerful beams from the gem in his forehead. He is seemingly indestructible, though the stone seems to be the key to him being alive. He defeats Ultron and erases his AI from existence. Now Vision tries to live a more normal life, though he realizes such a thing is never possible for him. Both Vision and Wanda live in the Avengers headquarters together, along with a few of the other heroes. They both feel like outsiders and develop a sort of kinship because of that. Thor leaves Earth for Asgard, while Hulk leaves Earth out of his fear for others' safety, but they'll both show up again a bit later. Captain America is training this team, and he takes a group out to Nigeria to deal with a chemical attack. An explosion goes off, which Wanda contains for a brief moment before it destroys part of a government building, killing people inside. This triggers a discussion about superheroes and their responsibility when things go wrong, resulting in something called the Sokovia Accords, in which a government body would tell the Avengers when to act and what to do. This idea splits the Avengers in half, based on the concept of should they be told what to do or should they retain control over when to act. Captain America and a team that thinks they should remain in control now go on the run, while Iron Man and his team try to find and capture them. In the midst of fighting, James Rhodes, or the War Machine, is injured accidentally by the Vision, and now must wear a suit in order to walk normally. While this is happening, we meet another new character, the prince of an African country called Wakanda. His name is T'Challa, and by night he suits up as a hero to protect his country called the Black Panther. T'Challa is with his father when an explosion occurs and kills the king. The blame is placed on the assassin Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, though he did not do it. With everyone looking for Bucky and trying to capture Bucky, this means that Steve Rogers and his team must find Bucky first. Black Panther gets involved in this quote-unquote civil war because he believes Winter Soldier is responsible for his father's death. In addition to Black Panther, Iron Man also seeks out the help of a young hero from New York named Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Stark gives him a brand new suit and brings him on board to help delay and capture Captain America's team. The Civil War resolves with Captain America and Iron Man facing off, realizing the end goal was the destruction of the Avengers to tear them apart. The final straw is when Iron Man is shown proof that his own parents were killed at the hands of the Winter Soldier, though of course he was still mind-controlled. Captain America's team is captured in a prison called the Raft, but he releases them to go into hiding. Hawkeye fought alongside them and returns home to his family, retiring from this life supposedly. Captain America knows that Winter Soldier is a risk, so he takes him to Wakanda, where Black Panther's younger sister Shuri is able to cure his mind, and he's given a new nickname by the Wakandan people, White Wolf. Spider-Man returns to Queens, New York to try to live a normal life. He is mentored by Iron Man and even offered a brand new and higher tech suit that he initially turns down. Black Panther returns to Wakanda and is crowned as the new king. People outside of Wakanda think this is a third world country, but in reality Wakanda is rich and technologically advanced, using a metal called vibranium, the same metal used to craft Captain America's signature shield. The country is full of this metal, making them able to easily defend themselves if they ever needed to. Shuri is able to use this metal alongside her genius ideas to create some incredible things. We also meet the bodyguards of the king, the all-female Dora Milaje, led by a woman named Okoye. We also have the leader of the ape tribe named M'Baku, who usually rivals the Black Panther tribe, but for now they've come to an agreement. In the final moments of his solo film, Black Panther reveals to the world that Wakanda is rich in resources and is now open to assisting when others are in need. Now, I mentioned earlier that Thor had left Earth, so during the entirety of the Civil War, he was busy with a world-ending threat for Asgard, called Ragnarok. Thor and Loki found out that they have a sister named Hela, who came back to claim the throne. Thor and Loki were deserted on a planet where Thor discovered that Hulk was still alive and was flourishing as a gladiator champion. He's been the Hulk for months now, without reverting back to Banner. They're eventually able to reclaim Banner, but it's more and more unlikely that he'll be able to transform back each time. The only way to save the Asgardian people was to destroy the place known as Asgard, so they summoned a mighty demon to destroy the city and Hela with it. The Asgardian people were all moved onto a giant ship and now seek refuge on another planet, potentially Earth. As they're loading up this ship, we see Loki approaching the Tesseract, which was kept in Asgard's vaults, seemingly to take it with him. Odin has died during this, as have most of Thor's friends, so the ship is really the last of the remaining Asgardians. He also lost an eye during his battle with Hela, as well as her destroying his valuable hammer, Mjolnir. The other Asgardian worth paying attention to here is Heimdall, the All-Seeing, who is able to see and communicate across planets, which may come into play. We have a new hero, who has only crossed paths with Thor and Loki, by the name of Dr. Stephen Strange. Both of his hands were mangled in a car accident, and he had them fixed by learning ancient magic from a powerful being called the Ancient One. He uses this magic to defend the Earth against supernatural threats, alongside his friend Wong, who specializes in ancient artifacts and texts. They do this from their New York headquarters, the Sanctum Sanctorum. It's through Wong that we learn about Strange's artifact, the Eye of Agamotto, which he wears around his neck. This artifact is another Infinity Stone, able to rewind and slow time. Why do we keep bringing up these Infinity Stones? What do they have to do with anything? One of them is powerful, yes, but imagine if someone wielded multiple, or even all of them. Now we come to Thanos. We saw him briefly pulling the strings with Loki, but he's obsessed with these stones and acquiring them. He's a warlord that's destroyed entire civilizations, and he's known for keeping one alive to train as a warrior or as a slave. This is how he came to find the two adopted sisters, Gamora and Nebula. Gamora is a gifted warrior and it came easy to her. Nebula needed help, so Thanos tore her apart and rebuilt her better. Thanos heard of an Infinity Stone being discovered and sent Gamora to find it and return it, which is where she came across the Earthling Peter Quill, who goes by the alias Star-Lord.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
Who?
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw. Guys?
He had found the stone and had no idea what it was, so she was going to take it from him. Together they both get arrested, however, alongside 3 others. A talking raccoon named Rocket with a penchant for guns, a giant tree named Groot that can only say 3 words,
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Yeah, you said that.
and a killer named Drax that lost his family because of Thanos and his orders, so Drax seeks revenge. Together as the Guardians of the Galaxy, they take this stone to the only person that might know what it is, the Collector. We saw the Collector already because he has the red Infinity Stone. However, things don't go well and a slave of his tries to wield the stone and destroys his entire collection, so the location of the red stone is still unclear. An alien zealot named Ronan tries to take the stone from this group, but they unite together to spread its power out, and they destroy him. They give the stone to an outer space police force called the Nova Corps to protect it. In this adventure, Groot was killed, but he has respawned as a young twig and is now regrowing, but he does not have the memories of the past Groot. He's essentially a whole new being. On their next adventure, they recruit a new woman to the team called Mantis, who is able to control and read emotions of others. Quill has been looking for a way to return to Earth, but hasn't yet found a way. So if Thanos is looking for these Infinity Stones, Gamora and Nebula would be the best bets on having knowledge about what he'll do. But it's pretty obvious Earth is his target, with 2 of the stones there. And we have 1 stone that hasn't been shown yet, so who knows where the final one might be. Now I know this video has already been like 3 hours long, or it feels like anyways, but here's some speculations you might want to know about. Marvel has 2 television tracks that might make an appearance here, though it's unlikely. They have a series on ABC called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that tracks our literal agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. throughout the events of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's some speculation that these characters, especially Agent Coulson, might appear. Coulson has appeared in several movies but is now considered to be dead by them. We also have the Netflix shows like Daredevil and Luke Cage, who exist in a much darker and small-scale universe, but it would be incredible to see a cameo of folks like that. The other thing to keep in the back of your mind is what's next. The big thing to happen lately is the acquisition of most Fox properties by Disney. So there's a chance they may use Infinity War to tease or introduce new properties that they can bring into the fold, like Fantastic Four or the X-Men. Since X-Men have movies coming out soon, including Deadpool 2, X-Men Dark Phoenix, and New Mutants, it's unlikely that they'll jump over that quickly. Fantastic Four, though? If you see a reference to 4 people in a spaceship getting hit by radiation, or allusions to a genius named Reed Richards, prepare for the theater to go wild. This would be a prime end credit scene for this movie. Thanks for watching our refresher, recap, prep video for Infinity War. Hopefully you found this interesting. Check out some other videos that might be interesting to you and make sure you subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.